for Perkins, and I am excited to be with you here today for Sculpey and their Bake Shop Clay. I'm going to be talking to you about how to make some really easy embellishments for string lights like this. All you're going to need is a package of Bake Shop. It's got all the colors, a little tool, and we're going to have some fun using a really basic caning technique that's a little easier for younger hands, because that is what Bake Shop Clay is all about. It says 8+, but even younger kids, my son uses it, can play with this clay. It's just a little softer and easier for little hands to use. Everything else is the same. You bake it, it hardens, it'll make all the things. It's just a little easier for small young hands to work with, or hands like mine to work with. All right, let's get started. So the Bake Shop kit comes with a whole bunch of different colors, right? A little bit of everything. But you know, if you're just like, but I really wanted, say, a melony color, I guess it's not melony, is it? I mean, cantaloupe, it counts. If you want this color orange, all you have to do is add a little white to the orange, which is what I did. Or if you want something a little lighter green than that, again, just add some white or some yellow. Look up color mixing. It's really easy. You know, yellow and blue make green, that kind of thing. And then if you add a little white to it, just makes it a little lighter. And that way it just kind of broadens past the primaries. This is the fun part. This is where we get to play with the clay. So you can see here the colors I'm using are slightly more muted than the primary colors that come in the Sculpey Bake Shop package, because as I mentioned, I added a little white and did a little mixing. I've rolled all my colors into snakes, which is just as you think, rolling it into long sections. I trim them so that they're all even, and then I start rolling them into one giant mixed snake. So you want to kind of do this little bit by little bit, making sure it's even until you get something that looks like this. A really long snake. You're just kind of trying to mix all the colors and stick them together. You're not trying to combine all the colors of the clay, because you want something like that that's going to look like this tie-dye magic. Once you have that long snake, you're going to use the tool that comes with your Bake Shop, and you're going to cut it off into these little sections. Try to get them as equal in width as you can. You can also use one of these little metal clay tools if you want a cleaner cut. Sometimes those plastic tools can smear the clay when you're using this slab kind of caning technique. I learned this from the Poly Collective, which is a great YouTube channel, and I just thought it was really fun to create this kind of tie-dye color. So the next thing you need is a base. I'm just using some tan and some white that also came in the Bake Shop package. You know, the tan I didn't think I would use again for a whole lot of projects, so I thought, well, that would make a great base, which means I'm not really going to see it. I'm just conditioning it right now, and then I'm taking my acrylic roller and I'm flattening it out. So you want it not just paper thin, but thin-ish. You don't want it really thick, because you are going to stack the little circles of tie-dye clay that you just made on top of this clay. So, you know, get a nice big section. Once you have that, you know, you can flip it over, do what you want, and then you just start adding those little tie-dye clay coins to it right up next to each other. And I like to make sure that I'm kind of twisting those pieces around when I can, so that, say, like a pink isn't right up on a pink and a white isn't right up on a white, because you'll see here in a minute, once I fill up the whole little bottom slab, I'm going to roll it out and press it out. So that's why I don't want it all just the same colors right up next to each other. I mean, if it happens, it is not the end of the world. And if you don't cover the whole bottom slab, that's okay too. All right, so take out your friend, the acrylic roller, and very gently, section by section, start flattening it out. Again, you don't want to go overkill here, because we're not trying to make a giant color blob. The effect we're going for is kind of a tie-dye, so don't overwork the clay. You just want to get enough so that you have plenty of space to cut out your shapes for our next step. All right, quick tip of something to think about. These clip lights, doodle, 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 have lights behind them, hence the name clip lights, right? So you don't want to make a piece of clay that's going to cover the whole front of your decorative clip, because if it covers the entire thing, your clay is going to be opaque. So you want to look for a cutter like this that's about half the size. You can see here's my cutter. Here's where the light goes, because I want to see the light come through. I don't want a piece of clay that's going to cover the whole front and then you can't see the light. And then what's the point of having lights on clips? Otherwise, I just would have used a plain clip. So now that we have that part out of the way, and you know why I am using this small rectangle, it's not as large as the clip, you just begin cutting out little sections. Very gently, you push, just like you're making cookies and you're cutting using a cookie cutter. You push and then you gently push the pieces out and you set them to the side. You're gonna need as many of these pieces as you have clips on your string lights. But honestly, I just did as many as I had clay, because I guess my logic was the more the merrier, and what if I need extra? I don't know, because I just thought it was pretty and I love the tie-dye. And I thought if I don't use them all on my string lights, well then who knows, maybe I'll make them into jewelry or do something else fun. So just keep on keeping on. You can set that extra tie-dye clay aside, put it up in a baggie, and you can use it later. All that's left to do is put it in the oven. Okay, so when it comes out of the oven, it's gonna be nice and hard. Let it cool completely. And the next step is we want to attach our little clay pieces to our string lights. How do we do that? Not by magic, with glue, right? If you are working with extra young kids, you might want to bust out the craft glue. If you are working with a slightly older child, or this is an adult doing the project, you are welcome to use a hot glue gun, which is what I am gonna do, because that is how we are gonna get our clay to stick to the clip. All right, ready? Let's get the glue. So the next thing you wanna do is get your piece of clay that's nice and hardened. Get a little bit of glue on the back, right? Then on the side without the light, I was a wee bit confused on which side to attach my clay piece to, but I confirmed with my tween that it is indeed the side without the little light on it. And you just attach. And again, if you were gonna use craft glue, you just wanna keep that flat, because we know your piece of clay would slide right off. But with hot glue, you can just keep on keeping on, just keep on adding. Okay, once your glue has dried, cooled, depending on what kind you are using, you are ready to hang your new clip lights. Let's do it. Ooh, those string lights look so cute. I am smitten on the way they turned out. I put mine here on my cork board, just using regular old push pins, but you do you. My daughter has them just hanging on a blank wall in her bedroom. You can hang them over a window, any which way you want to use them. And what you hang from them is totally up to you. I am just loving the embellishment part of these string lights, because when the light's not on and they're not flashing, otherwise they might just look like plain clear plastic clips. But now they look like they have a little bit of polymer clay, tie-dye, handmade magic. And I'm telling you, it was easy. You can do this, people. So can your kids if they get their own package of Bake Shop Clay from Sculpey. Guys, I am Jennifer Perkins. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I can't wait to see what you guys get crafty with next.